Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Xbox One.
May 21st, 2013 is a day that Microsoft would probably love to forget. What should have been the triumphant reveal of their newest and greatest console, the Microsoft Xbox One, quickly took a disastrous turn, and I'm not just talking about the TV
experience. TV and movies, TV. Xbox, watch TV. TV.
What is going on, good people? I've started this video by rehashing the complete dumpster fire that was the Xbox One launch back in 2013 to illustrate a point. Those of you who are old enough to remember that probably came away with just two impressions of this machine. One, that it was supposedly a video game machine and yet was more about the television experience. And two, that at the time it had the most heavy-handed attempt at DRM that we had ever seen. And it's no great surprise that Xbox One got off on a terrible foot. People were completely outraged with the idea of having to have it connected to a peripheral, namely the Kinect, that nobody wanted in order to operate, and two, that you couldn't play the games without your machine being online and having to check in and verify and validate. It was the most anti-consumer actions that we had ever seen being perpetrated on us by a video game company at that time. And of course, it was just outrage all over the place. And the moment that PlayStation won that generation was before the PS4 ever hit the shelves, when they came out with their little video at their launch and said that they weren't going to do the heavy-handed DRM, that your device did not have to be online, and that you could very easily share your games by just handing a disc to another person. At that time, of course, this was the most heavy-handed thing we've ever seen. However, I'm going to make the argument now that Microsoft has pulled a complete 180, and Nintendo, who are normally content with just hanging around in the background and doing their own thing and servicing their own fan base, has become the bad guy of the upcoming gaming generation. In case you haven't heard, there's been a lot of backlash against Nintendo for the way they're handling their Switch 2. The complaints range from it basically not being a true upgrade and just being more of a refresh. And there's certainly an argument to be made there, because it doesn't seem terribly different in terms of specs and overall feature sets from the Switch 1. And two, Nintendo, who are notorious for suing everybody for any little infraction on their IP, they've taken it a step further with the Switch 2. Now, if you attempt to modify your device, not only can you be banned from using the device online, they can remotely brick your device. The device that you paid all that money for, now rendered completely useless. And I think that that's a bridge too far. I really do. And that's why I think that the announced ROG Xbox Ally X is going to be the superior and more consumer-friendly gaming device, handheld device, moving forward. I'm not completely sure what the price is on this yet, because it hasn't been released, but the speculation ranges anywhere from $700 to $1,000 depending on which model that you get. Now, while that's quite a bit more expensive than the Nintendo Switch 2, I would say that it still is the better value. Reasons for that being that, one, on the specifications front, which I won't get into, you can look it up, it is quite a bit more powerful than the Switch 2, but because it runs on a stripped-down version of Windows 11 operating system, that means that not only is it a phenomenal device for running Windows Game Pass, but for also playing Steam games, playing modified versions of games, for emulation. I mean, it is a portable PC in your hand. And I do think that in the long run, the price difference more than justifies it, because anybody that's been a PC gamer for more than 5 minutes knows that Steam has all sorts of sales all the time, ridiculous. Like, you can find tremendous, wonderful gaming experiences for often under $5 a piece. Whereas, with Nintendo, based on your experience with the Switch 1, those games for that system, they start high and they stay high. Even when you go to buy them in the used markets, they're seldom going to be had for any more than 10 to 15% off of what they were new. Like Nintendo games, they just don't depreciate in value. And when you get the Switch 2, I mean, really, you are buying it for the first party titles. And there are people that make the argument that Nintendo first party titles are kid games by and large, and I can agree with that to an extent. But with the Xbox handheld that's soon to be coming out, I believe October this year is when it's supposed to launch, and with pre-orders taking place in August, you not only have access to Steam and to Xbox Games Pass, but because of the Steam access, you're also going to be able to play a lot of PlayStation first-party games on this handheld. So you've got an Xbox, you've got a PC, and you've got a PlayStation experience all in your hand, and you can get games for dirt cheap. Now, the argument against the Ally X, of course, is that there's not going to be physical games for it, which, that's just the direction that we're going in. I'm a big physical collector myself, but another area where Nintendo's really screwed up is with their physical games. Now, this is not going to be the case for all of them, but a lot of the Nintendo Switch 2 games that are going to be coming out, you're just basically going to be getting a case and a dummy cartridge that has a download key on it, which is something that irked me on the previous generation, because there were certain titles on Xbox and PlayStation where you got a disc, but the disc just gave you the download. I think Hogwarts comes to mind. That was one where, you had to have the internet, and like it even says it right on the box, internet required, which means you're going to have to download it. So even with the Nintendo Switch 2, there's going to be a lot of games that you're going to have a coaster. You're going to have something to put on your shelf, but you're not actually going to physically be able to have a copy of the game. And I think Nintendo is they're going the wrong way. They haven't learned from the mistakes of Microsoft. Microsoft tried a lot of this heavy-handed stuff, and it really did not work out well for them. Now, I know due to the sticker price of the new handheld, it's gonna put a lot of people off, but I can really see this gaining traction, and it's just my opinion that it is far and away going to be the superior machine in every aspect. But that's just me. Tell me what you think. I'd love to hear it. And as always, pick your battles, because not every hill is worth dying on. And if you got even the most minuscule degree of entertainment from this video, hey, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. I've been stuck at the 250 mark forever. Your boy's getting a little frustrated by that, I'm not gonna lie. But hey, those of y'all that have been sticking around, I appreciate you. I have nothing but love for you, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Anything you say can and will be held against you.
Boobs.